Hi there. Welcome to Physician in the Kitchen. I'm Dr. Monique, a plant-based board-certified family physician and founder of the brand Physician in the Kitchen. I help busy people discover, cook, and eat delicious plant-based foods because my mission is to fix America's health one plate at a time. Today we are taking a family recipe and we're going to veganize it because that's what we do here. A few weeks ago, my son was a little under the weather and he happens to go to college about an hour or so from where I live. And I was on my way back from my homecoming and I stopped by and made him my mom's chicken noodle soup. Well, of course, while I was making it, that got me thinking, how do I veganize this? Because chicken noodle soup is warm, it's hearty, it makes you feel good when you're sick, but we're doing all things vegan here. So I'm basically taking her recipe and tweaking it and making it my own plant-based version. This is a great recipe to make in advance, so I recommend you go ahead and make some now because we're at the start of cold, flu, and even RSV season. So it's good to go ahead and have this on hand in the freezer. So if and when you get sick or a family member, you've got it already handy in the freezer and all you have to do is pop it in the microwave or on the stove to warm it up. So we're going to be using one of my favorite mushrooms, king trumpet, but you can also use either another type of oyster mushroom or even a portobello or a cremini or a shiitake mushroom, anything that's kind of got like that meaty texture of a mushroom, because we're going to again be substituting it for chicken. So I'm sure the medicinal properties of chicken noodle soup comes from the vegetables that are in there, the celery, the carrots, and the onions. And then we're gonna boost and rev that up even more by throwing in some mushrooms. So it may be a placebo effect. In other words, we take it and therefore we think it's gonna make us feel better, so we do. But either way, whether it's scientific or not, it's hard to argue with a classic like chicken noodle soup. So we're just gonna tweak it and make it our plant-based own. So before we do that, be sure to do all the things. Click like, hit share, subscribe, and ring the notification bell so you never miss out on any of our plant-powered content. All right, enough talking. Let's get to cooking. Today's all-star lineup of ingredients is as follows: king trumpet mushrooms, carrots, celery, onion, garlic, ginger, thyme, homemade chicken bouillon, scallions, vegetable stock, and whole wheat pasta. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and start our pot. And I love a good Dutch oven. This is one of those one pot meals, so your Dutch oven comes in handy here. So we're gonna start this with a little bit of oil. If you don't want to use oil, you can simmer or saute rather your vegetables in a little bit of water or vegetable stock. What we're gonna do is go ahead and start with our aromatics. So when I was at my son's house, I realized I did not have a vegetable peeler, nor did I have a grater to mince the garlic and the ginger. So I just had to improvise, and I made these little thin slices, and I kind of like that idea because by the time they cook down, they're so thin, they were just very easy to eat. And so I like the idea of using slices here. So if you don't want to do that, you can grate yours, but I think it just added to the final. It added just another level of just aesthetic to the final product. So that's what we're doing. So we're gonna just warm this up. You see I put a little bit of salt in there to start softening it up. And we're gonna go ahead and add in our thyme, because thyme is one of those herbs that you actually want to cook longer. It's a heartier herb, and you want to put it in at the beginning of your dish versus at the end. Something like a basil or a cilantro, those definitely are finishing herbs. So we've got this going, and of course it's already smelling delicious. I mean, how can you go wrong with garlic, ginger, and thyme? So we're going to go ahead and let this start to soften up a little bit, and I'm going to do mine a little bit differently. When I made my mom's version, she just kind of puts everything in one pot and lets it all cook down. But we're going to go ahead and caramelize our carrots and our celery just a little bit to bring out some of those flavors before we let everything simmer. So I'm going to go ahead and put my onions, my carrots, and my celery. As you know, this is a mirepoix. Oh my goodness, that already smells so good. And we're gonna just let this cook for just a few minutes before I add in my mushrooms. I don't want to overcook my mushrooms. I don't want them to be rubbery. So we're going to add those in after these have had a little time to cook. Just going to go ahead and cover that. Check back in a few. Okay, so our veggies have been cooking for about 3 minutes. They're starting to soften up. They are so fragrant along with that thyme. So now we're going to add in our mushrooms. And we are just going to let them cook for just a couple of minutes. Again, we don't want them to get rubbery. All right, so let those mushrooms start to soften up. This is going to be an amazing quote-unquote chicken noodle soup, but mushroom, really a mushroom noodle soup, okay? Those mushrooms have a velvety, meaty texture. They have that umami flavor, and we're going to add in our chicken bouillon that's going to bump up that chicken flavor even more. All right, so our mushrooms are starting to soften up. So I'm going to go ahead now and add in my vegetable stock. And you want just enough to cover it, so we're going to add a little bit more. This is going to be about 3 cups. I had 2. We'll do about 3. And we're going to go ahead and bring this up to a boil. Add a little bit more salt. And actually, we're going to have to add in noodles. So you know what? Let's go ahead and make this a whole nother cup. So a total of 4 cups here. So we have enough liquid to cook our noodles. Almost forgot about that part. And we're going to let this come to a boil. You hear that noise in the background? That's my new puppy, Miles, demanding my attention while I'm trying to cook. What's the matter? He's so precious. Let me show you. Say hi, everybody. I want my mommy's attention right now while she's trying to cook. You will be seeing much more of him. I've had him for exactly 3 weeks. All right, so our pot has come to a boil. We're going to go ahead now and add in our noodles. Let everything simmer for about 10 minutes. And this is going to be good to go. And yes, it smells as good as it looks. And I'm going to add just a little bit more. So this recipe is probably going to end up taking at least 5 cups. Let's go ahead and finish it off. That's the beauty of creating a recipe. You can adjust it on the fly as you need it. Because remember, a recipe is just a really easy checklist of ingredients to prepare and eat. So don't be afraid to adjust as needed. All right, we're going to let this simmer for about 10 minutes and recheck it. Okay guys, so while the soup is simmering, we're going to go ahead and whisk together our vegan chicken bouillon. I mentioned earlier that my mom does not use this ingredient in her soup because duh, she's using actual chicken. But since I am not, I still wanted that chicken flavor. And this is something that I put together super easy using some basic pantry ingredients. Here we have about a 1/4 cup of nutritional yeast. We've got some turmeric and some oregano. Then we've got our onion and garlic powders. And lastly, we've got some salt and a little bit of poultry seasoning. The poultry seasoning is the same seasoning you use during Thanksgiving to season your turkeys. This has thyme, sage, marjoram, rosemary, black pepper, and nutmeg. And we are going to give this a quick whisk, combining all the ingredients very well. And now you have made a vegan chicken bouillon. This is so easy. You get to control how much salt you put in there. If you don't want to use salt, then don't put it in there. But you can see how easy it comes together. And then we're just going to store this in one of our recyclable jars. This was something that I had left over from some food that I kept. And we're going to just go ahead and put this in here. So not only are we being good to the planet, but we're also being good to our bodies because we're making a low sodium, preservative free, vegan chicken bouillon. So I'm going to make a little bit more because obviously I've got plenty of room. That recipe, that amount makes about half a cup roughly, but you can make as much as you want by just multiplying the ingredients. So enjoy. And don't forget to label and date it. Doctor's orders. Nutritional yeast is often used in plant-based diets. It is a deactivated form of yeast that is used as a flavoring agent, while regular yeast is active and used in brewing or baking to ferment or help dough rise, respectively. Nutritional yeast, or nooch as it is often called, has a savory, umami-rich flavor that's often described as cheesy and nutty, making it a popular plant-based substitute for cheese. It's also slightly tangy with hints of earthiness and a mild roasted malt-like taste. Some people compare it to the flavor of Parmesan cheese or toasted nuts. Overall, it's rich, slightly salty, and can add depth to a variety of dishes. Nutritional yeast also offers several health benefits due to its nutrient-rich profile. Here are some of the key health benefits. Rich in B vitamins. Nutritional yeast is an excellent source of B vitamins, especially B12, which is essential for energy production, brain function, and red blood cell formation. However, be aware that not all nutritional yeast contains vitamin B12. Fortified nutritional yeast has vitamin B12 added to it during processing. Vitamin B12 is typically lacking in plant-based diets, so fortified nutritional yeast can help meet those needs for vegans and vegetarians. High in protein. Nutritional yeast contains all 9 essential amino acids, making it a complete protein. This makes it a valuable protein source for those following plant-based diets. Boosts immunity. Nutritional yeast contains beta-glucan, a type of fiber that can strengthen the immune system and help the body fight infections and illnesses. Supports digestive health. The high fiber content in nutritional yeast can promote healthy digestion and help maintain a balanced gut microbiome. Antioxidant properties. Nutritional yeast is rich in antioxidants such as glutathione, which can help protect cells from oxidative stress and reduce inflammation. Promotes healthy skin, hair, and nails. Thanks to its B vitamin content, nutritional yeast can support healthy skin, hair, and nails. B vitamins, especially biotin or B7, are known for enhancing skin radiance and hair health. Low in sodium and fat. Nutritional yeast is naturally low in sodium and fat, making it a healthy option for flavoring foods while keeping salt and fat intake in check. May support weight management. The combination of protein and fiber found in nutritional yeast can help increase satiety, which may aid in managing hunger and supporting weight control efforts. Given its savory, cheesy flavor, nutritional yeast is a popular ingredient in vegan recipes, adding taste and nutrition without unwanted fats, cholesterol, or salt. And one more thing we're going to add in is the chicken bouillon. Now, when I made it my mom's way, she does not use a bouillon, so this is something that's purely optional. But this is what I mentioned is going to give it just that extra chicken-y type flavor. And I'll share with you my recipe in the description. But this is just a way to bump up that chicken flavor. Again, totally optional. If you don't want to add it, you don't have to. But I'm adding about 1 to 2 tablespoons. And let's just give this a taste. Oh yeah. Oh my God, that's amazing. So again, optional, but definitely a nice addition if you want to go with it. All right, so it's been 10 minutes and our noodles have cooked. Everything else is nice and done. So we're gonna go ahead and just add in our final ingredient, which are the scallions. Because those are more delicate, I'm gonna add those at the end. They don't need to cook a long time. In fact, I can go ahead and turn off the heat and just kind of sprinkle these in. I'm just adding that for flavor. Just like to add a little bit more elements in here. And as you're cooking this, if you see that you need more liquid, don't be afraid to add a cup of water, or if you have more stock at a time. That way your noodles are cooked and everything is submerged and you have enough of the stock, because this broth is what is part of that medicinal effect of a chicken noodle soup, or in this case, a mushroom noodle soup. So this smells as amazing as it looks. So we're gonna go ahead and plate this up and give it a taste. This looks like a bowl of autumn. I just love it. Gorgeous. All right, guys, now it is time to taste. This soup has my whole kitchen smelling so delicious. I like to serve this with some crunchy pita chips, or you could serve it with some crusty bread. Anything that you like to kind of dip, because you're gonna have some of that extra juice or broth. So let's give this a taste. Make sure I get a mushroom in there, a carrot, and a celery piece. This is delicious. This tastes like my mom's recipe, but it's also a little bit different because I did add the chicken bouillon, which you saw how easy it is to make. So this is so good. This is the kind of recipe you may want to double up because you can throw the extra in the freezer, and when you need it, just defrost it. This is so good. The celery, the onions, the scallions, the carrots, the mushrooms, everything is cooked perfectly, and that was because, again, we kind of started a little bit before we added the broth. We started cooking our carrots and our mushrooms. We let everything come together, get a little bit of a caramelization, start to soften up just a bit before we added in our stock and our homemade chicken bouillon. This is a hit, guys. I'm sure this will be eaten at least once or twice during this cold and flu season. And you don't have to wait till you get sick to try it. Go ahead and just have it as a nice light meal for a busy weeknight. So for other plant-based inspired recipes, be sure to grab a copy of my book, Doc Fix My Plate, The Physician in the Kitchen Prescriptions for Your Healthy Meal Makeover. And also please tag me at Physician in the Kitchen if you make this recipe. I'd love to see your version of it. And if you need a little extra spice or a little extra seasoning, be sure to grab a bottle of my vegan Worcestershire sauce or vegan W sauce at veganwsauce.com. Until next time, I am Dr. Monique, the Physician in the Kitchen, telling you to keep it 100, plant-based that is, eat well,